baseball court. I remember thinking to myself, what a dick. What's he teaching adults? And the answer is not, he's teaching them that bad behavior is tolerated if you win. And to my mind, it's gone. It should have been eliminated a long time ago. I'm glad they're taking the steps they're taking now.
One of the drawbacks to this is, obviously the priests have a bad name.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's plenty of good priests, but they have a bad name.
Yeah.
And now coaches are going to have a bad. People ask me if I coach, I'm going to be like, no, never did that. I never had that occupation.
I did a story for North Shore Sunday after this coach committed suicide that Dale was talking about. And I remember that I got Frank Carey, who's I remember Frank Carey, yeah. Really good guy, a baseball coach in North Reading for years and in Lynn for, I think it's one of the summer league teams. But he agreed to, we took a picture of him and, he talked about how as a coach you had to watch yourself. And he said he had a situation where he had a kid at his camp and the young kid alone in the locker room and had gone to the bathroom. He pooped his pants or something like that. And Frank said like he went to help the kid clean up. And he says, as he's doing it, he's thinking to himself, geez, I should probably have somebody else in here. Yeah. But it was, he's in the position of like, do you do the right thing and not think, and do you do the right thing or do you go out and make sure you're covered, your ass is covered legally by bringing in somebody else to watch you?
Yeah. Well, if you're going to bring someone else in, just have him do it. Why would you have him watch?
Well, yeah, you would do that. One of the counselors.
I'm your superior. You clean it up.
But then the funny thing is, then we run the picture and we run Frank's picture on the cover with this story and about abuse. And he says one of his friends is calling him up going, what'd you do now? What'd you do now? But I think you're right. It casts, it's funny because again, this is not the case that Dale is talking about. That's a 25-year-old case maybe.
Is it that long ago? It might have been when I first came on.
It was the 90s, yeah.
Okay. Luckily, there hasn't been many that have come out since. I know there was a hockey coach in maybe Marblehead a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Marblehead. I believe it was Marblehead.
Yep.
Hockey players are tough kids. I'm surprised they'd take hockey players. Are like, those are the epitome of like, don't fuck with me.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, one of the toughest kids I went to high school with, hockey player, like badass. I was afraid of this kid. He was abused by a priest.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that shocked me. Of all the people, I thought he would have just rammed this guy's teeth in with his fist. He fought everybody. But it was what you said earlier. They get that control and that trust, and then they cross that line. And
it's no different than like a bad domestic situation with a father or the husband's a tyrant and he controls the whole family and they just live with it the rest of their life and they accept the reality of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good. It's good that it's being exposed. Hopefully a lot of people will be groomed from their positions and maybe there'll be some charges. So it's hopefully it'll stop. Hopefully it'll stop because if you're in charge of a women's sports team, or if you're in charge of a girls' sports team, you should keep in mind that, not to be a creepy predator and horrible person. And let's go to something more pleasant, which is CONCACAF, which is my favorite word now.
I try, Dave. I try not to be negative. I bring the positivity, but I'm so pissed at what they did last night. So they won Wednesday.
Yeah. Against the Jamaica team that they were clearly better than.
Yep.
Clearly better than.
And did you do your homework and watch?
I watched some of it.
Okay.
I watched some of it, but I didn't know the result.
Okay, well, they won, and this guy, Ricardo Pepi, had 2 goals. He's the one that we talked about a few weeks ago. They're giving this kid, an 18-year-old kid, a chance. We've struggled to score, so you find a striker. Okay?
Yeah.
The next game, Greg Berhalter, who I refer to as Bra Holster, comes out, and this guy should be wearing a soccer uniform on the sidelines, okay? Like a baseball coach, and he should be chewing tobacco and grabbing his nuts because he treats it like a baseball team. He juggles his lineup, and Pepe's not in, and you might have seen this kid, Brandon Aronson, on Wednesday night, white kid, real flat. He's not in.
Okay.
And so my son knows soccer. We turn the game on, he goes, they're not going to score a goal. Oh, you don't think so? He goes, this is junk. And they lost 1-0. So you left 3 points on the table. You dropped from first to second. You have a very hard game coming up Wednesday, which if you lose, you're going to drop down to like 5th or 6th place. We're right back in the same hole we were in. Guy's an idiot.
Guy's an idiot?
Yeah.
There's no reason he would have done this.
There's reason, yeah. So
Like what?
he's in love with this guy, Jarcy Jardis, who he coached in the MLS for Columbus.
Okay.
Made a couple finals with him. He can't score at the international level, at the CONCACAF level. He can score in the MLS.
Say it again. At what level?
CONCACAF. He's been a Golden Boot winner. He's had the most goals in the league.
Wait. The CONCACAF. The CONCACAF. The guy he wants in the CONCACAF lineup is a former Golden Boot winner.
For the MLS.
Okay.
Yeah. Most goals in a season.
Yeah.
He's not a good international player, and he's in love with him, so he starts him over Pepe, puts Pepe in about the 68th minute, 20 minutes left. Panama had already sort of put their stamp on the game, and they just couldn't do anything.
It seemed to me when they played Jamaica that there was again, I thought they should have easily defeated Jamaica, and it just seemed like, again, you're taking a bunch of players, they're all really good players, they don't play with each other. You've got to get them playing together. And I thought if the U.S. was a little bit more cohesive, they would have blown out Jamaica easy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting thing. I did not watch that game last night. I had
Dale, did you watch?
No, actually, I didn't.
But just as a sports fan, would you
ever
play your best players, or would you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you gotta play your best team. You never know when you're gonna when you're gonna be out.
But
Absolutely,
he's showing loyalty to his guy.
Okay, so
on.
fine. You start you out as Wiz Aronson. They have this other guy who plays underneath Aronson. Okay, he doesn't belong there. He's really good at the position called the 6, which is right in front of the center backs.
Yeah,
he's really good there. But Tyler Adams plays there, so he plays them both. They're both sort of defensive. It's too much defense. So get him off the field. But it's just beyond frustrating. You play your best 11 players. You don't, for example, in baseball, say, well, Dale's really good against lefties, so even though Dale's not good, I'm going to hit him against him. You don't have soccer players that are good against Panama, so let's try him today. Like, you just put out your best 11 players, and you win the game and get 3 points.
But don't you look at it like, well, I'm going to give this guy some work. I'm going to give. Is this training for something, or are they actually trying to win this, or are they just using it to train for?
No, they're trying to get every point available.
They're trying to get every point available
and get to the World Cup. Get in the top 3 and get to the World Cup. And you haven't even played Mexico yet, who's in first.
Yeah.
So I'm going to count that as you're not going to win just because I think they're better than us. They might. Okay. I'm say they're not going to win that. So there's 3 points available last night, and you didn't get a single one.
Yeah, all right. I just wonder is there so there's no benefit to why if he felt like this, why didn't he play that lineup against Jamaica?
He didn't say anything. Was he resting them for Costa Rica? Okay, well then now you have to win the Costa Rica game. Otherwise you look like a complete buffoon because you rested Pepe, and now if you go out and lose, now you've lost 6 points.
How much time is there between games?
3 days.
Shouldn't that be enough time to recover?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I watch other teams play. Like my son was watching Argentina last night. Messi's in there. They're not going to take him out for any reason. He's playing all 3 games that they have. This guy's a tool bag.
Okay,
he really is.
Don't hold back.
Tool bag.
Yep. Tool bag. Tool bag.
Dave seems pretty sympathetic to the soccer players that don't play. I think you never really play. We like the 18th guy off the bench or something like that. Yeah, he supports the guys who never played.
Everybody, give him a couple.
Let Rattigan play. He's all right.
I'm a fan of the backup catcher, the utility guy, the 15th guy in the bench or the 15th guy in the bullpen who's just soaking up innings when you're in garbage time. Those are the people I identify with.
The thing about soccer is it's so hard to score. Okay?
Yeah.
It really is. And this guy goes out, scores 2 goals. One of them was the ball came to him. He had a little bit of space to get into, and he just snapped a header into the side netting.
Yeah.
Now the guy who doesn't play, Josh Sargent, who they were trying him, he could never score.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times he got headers. He's a good header.
Yeah.
He fights the guy off and gets the header, but it doesn't go in the net.
Okay.
Because it's just a really special skill. And this guy's showing at 18 that he has that ability.
Right.
And then you sit him for 70 minutes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, see, you're agreeing with me now.
I am agreeing with you. Yes. I mean, if your goal is to win the game, I don't know why you don't. again, I know that in some tournaments, some coaches try to spread the playing time because they're trying to develop something. But if they're not there to develop something, if they're just trying to win games, then why wouldn't you just go with a lineup that works? And if this guy scored 2 goals, were they nice goals? I mean, you're
Very
right.
nice, yeah.
Some guys are fantastic at scoring. I mean, it is just a skill. I used to call them when I played goalie in just crap around leagues. But I could make a living stopping the blacksmiths.
Yeah.
The blacksmith's the guy who work really hard and they get the shot, and all you're going to do is move forward because they're going to fire it into your pads. Yeah. I could do really well against those guys. But the actual scorers, the ones who could have that knack, they were going to enjoy shooting on me most days.
Well, when they had the MLS played Mexico in the All-Star game, they like to do different things to get fans to watch. So they said our All-Stars will play Mexico's. But then they had skills competition like they do in the NBA, or baseball does something similar, I think.
Yeah.
They have a home run derby, don't they?
Yeah, home run derby. Yep.
So Pepe was in there, and I don't usually watch this stuff, but I happen to be watching when he was in there. Guys would chip from right side and left side, and you would just shoot on the Mexican goalie, and whoever had the most won. And it blew me away how good he was at volleying. Like, ping in the left corner, ping in the top corner. It's just all of them.
Yeah.
So this kid's good.
Maybe he did something we don't know about. Maybe he showed up drunk at a practice. Maybe he didn't come to a practice.
I think if he showed up drunk, he wouldn't have played at all, though. The fact that he put him in tells me he was resting him / let's give Giassi a shot tonight. And Giassi's painful to watch.
It sounds like
painful to watch.
It sounds like every sports movie involving a kid in his
Oh, one more thing. By the way, the goal that they scored.
Yeah.
Turner kind of had to fight through one of their players to get to the ball.
Yeah.
But who was standing there and kind of blocking his view? Giassi. So it was almost an own goal, crappy goal that Turner gave up. Turner doesn't give up crappy goals.
All because of bra holder.
All because of Giassi.
And when you send me that text and you use the term bra holder,
you didn't know who I was talking
about. I didn't know. No, not only did I not know, but I looked it up. I Googled it. And there's actually a thing called a bra holder.
I know.
Yeah. I think it's to carry a gun, right? Is that?
Yeah. I'm assuming you didn't know who that was either when I texted bra holster sucks.
No, I didn't know who that was. Nope.
Have you ever heard of a bra holder?
My wife has a couple.
Does she? Okay.
I don't know. No, I haven't. You kind of got me just a little bit out of my element with soccer. My soccer days probably ended in 7th grade with the co-ed team. I was literally like the 10th person they'd throw in there.
I think, like I said, I think a bra holder, though, I think an actual bra holder is for a gun.
Oh, okay.
So I just went to Google just to make sure. But all right, we're going to move on. And maybe someday in the future we'll look up bra holder.
I'll
again.
just make a quick prediction.
All right, go ahead.
They're going to tie Costa Rica.
They're going to tie Costa Rica.
Yeah. So they're missing their two best players.
How many more games do they have?
That's a good question. I think they've played 9 games. I think they might have 6 more.
6 more?
Yeah. But they're missing their 2 best players, which is all the more reason why these other players need to be in. So you've heard of Pulisic.
Yeah.
He's the best
player.
Who
hasn't heard?
Okay.
I've heard of him.
Yes,
yeah.
He's hurt.
Who hasn't heard of Pulisic?
And then there's another guy named Giovanni Reina.
Yeah.
Who's also hurt. So you're missing your 2 best attackers.
Yeah.
So all the more reason to say, well, who are our next best players and get them on the field.
I'm saying there's a story behind the story.
Wednesday, I think, 1-1 tie.
I think Pepe did something behind the scenes.
We'll have our crack undercover team work on it.
Yeah, I think Pepe maybe, I don't know, get into a fight with Steve Belichick. Pepe maybe was, I don't know.
Jim can look into it. He's not busy.
Yeah, he's not doing anything. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to what I used to write a column, and I used to do a column every so often. It was a sports column, and every so often I'd do something called Great Moments in Sports. And I would talk to people who were, amateur athletes about something that had happened to them. And I was really looking for, we say great moments, but we were looking for interesting stories. For example, the Jimmy Bisson, was that the guy where I know Dale and I were talking about this?
Yeah, Jimmy Bisson.
Yeah, Jimmy Bisson was a kid from Salem, and he had the good fortune to fight in the New England Gold Gloves. And he was a good fighter, and out trots in the New England Gold Gloves Championship Mike Tyson.
Like 17 years old.
Yeah.
Really?
Mike Tyson.
Up in Lowell,
Were you there?
I wasn't there, no, but I heard about it. I was in the Marine Corps. I want to say it was probably 83.
And he had Tyson, those